Hey guys, I'm going to be installing these OSRAM CBB Cool Blue Boost HID lights in this 2015 Macan. The factory headlights were a little bit yellowish for me, so I think I'm going to like these a little bit more. Already started on the other side. Once I get it all buttoned up, I'm going to do a more detailed tear down for you guys on this side. Hope you find it useful. Now to begin, what we're going to do is we're going to remove these little quick release fasteners that are located around these plastic pieces. There's 7 of them. I'll show you where they are, but this is what they look like. Hopefully you can get that on camera. When they're installed, they're popped in like that. You can get a screwdriver or any small tool to just kind of wedge under, slip it out like that, and you can just pull them out by hand. So there's 7 of them, and they're located right here. Number 1, number 2 on the side, 3, number 4, number 5 back here, number 6 right there, and number 7. And once those are out of the way, you can start removing the actual plastic pieces themselves, the panels here. So you can just gently kind of pull up here, and you can see they're all interlocking, so just carefully pull them apart so nothing breaks. And I got this one already kind of released. I'm just going to work my way around effectively, make sure I get this part all unattached, and then just slowly pull this piece out all the way. Not sure if I'm still on the camera. Basically, you just pull all this kind of loose, and you can remove this piece, and that's the first piece you're going to want to take out. You can put that out of the way, and then you're going to want to loosen this piece a little bit more. My little seal here is glued to the side, so I'm a little bit stuck, but I can kind of get it out of the way enough. So then now once you have all of this exposed, you're going to want to begin by disconnecting the connector that goes to the headlight. Actually, I'm going to pull this little tube off first to get it out of the way. Appears to be a little vent tube, I believe. It's a little bit stuck, but there it goes. Now, on this connector, it's pretty tough to get off, so what I found was I take this little screwdriver, there's on the bottom of it, there's a little bit of a little clip. So my fingers are kind of weak, so I use this little screwdriver to push up on the little release tab. And once I do that, it should pop out. There we go. Yeah, that makes it a lot easier. It took me a lot longer on the other headlight to do it without this, so there's a little trick for you there. So now once you have all of this exposed, you're going to want to get to the two bolts that actually hold this thing in place. So I'm going to try to show you. Hopefully I can get it on camera here. Where's it at? So it's right under, it's actually right under this piece, way down in there. You're not going to be able to see it on camera, but it's right here, right behind where this piece connects. So straight down there. This one you'll see a little bit easier on the other side here. It's just right here. I can get it on camera again. It's right here. Both of these are 10 millimeter. So I'm just going to loosen them up with some tools, and then I'll come right back here. On the inside, what I'm going to use is this little socket. It's the easiest way to get to it with this little extender. You want to be really careful when you're loosening these things to not drop this screw. I did that on the other side, and I had to take this whole airbox area out to find the screw, and it was not fun. So just be careful. I'm sure you're going to ignore me and probably drop the screw anyways, because I always do the same thing, but be warned. So that one's loose. And on the other side, I'm just going to use this little cheater wrench. It's got a little ratchet in it, so it'll make my life a little bit easier. You can just get it a little bit loose, and then you can do the rest by hand, because it comes out pretty easily. Okay, so once you have both of the screws loose or out of the way, you're going to want to pull up on the front of this guy first, gently. Make sure not to lose a screw if it's still in there. And then just pull the headlight assembly out forwards a little. And there it is, it's kind of loose now. And now it's basically disconnected, except the front part of the headlight washer assembly is still connected, so you don't want to pull it out too far. So Once you have it this far out, you can gain access to work back here. Okay, hopefully it's not too difficult to see what I'm doing here. I try to get as much light in here as I can, but as I could. It's a little bit tough though. So, kind of stuck in position here. Got to turn this thing. I wouldn't say a quarter turn, but just turn it slightly. Get it out of the way, this little seal. And then you have access inside of here. Now all you have to do, again, I don't know if you can see this, but all you have to do is reach into where the headlight is, rotate slightly to the counterclockwise, I guess, and then just gently watch the light so you don't break it in there. Gently just rotate it out of here, and then you have this connector right here at the back. Again, you may not see it, but just slide it off. A little bit tough to slide off here. And like that, you have your headlight. And then all you have to do is swap this piece out, and then replace the bulb, put it right back in, and reassemble all of this in the opposite order. Once you get the bulb out of the car, it's going to look like this in this little assembly here, so we're going to want to pop that out. I'll just use this tool to make my life easier. Whenever you're working with bulbs, you want to make sure you're wearing gloves so you don't get any oils on them, causing the bulb to burn out prematurely. So I'll put that one aside. I've already broken the seal here on these. I'm just going to carefully open it up. Ooh, don't fall out. Alright. And just align it the same way. Push it right back in. I'm going to try not to touch the bulb, even though I'm wearing gloves. And there it is, back in the assembly. So this is just ready to be installed, ready to go. So once you have the bulb replaced like this, you're ready to reassemble everything. So you'll just grab your connector here that you previously disconnected. Make sure that you have this thing aligned the correct way. You'll know because it'll only go in one way. And just make sure you get it connected properly. So it's now connected. Now I'm going to be really careful with as I rotate the bulb around so that I don't touch anything with it. And you can see there's a oblonged hole for it to fit into back there at the back. So if you're really careful and don't drop the ball, you should be able to manipulate it into position. And then just rotate it back. It locks into position. It's nice and solid, clicked in there, and now it's ready to go. So all we need to do is seal this guy back up. Get it aligned, slight turn to lock, and it's sealed back up. And then we are going to realign the headlight itself. So remember that we slid it out, so you have to make sure it's fully out and then slide it back into position like that. And make sure that all of the fastener holes line up so that you know you're in the right spot and they're good to go. And then we are just going to reinstall these screws. So now that I have the headlight back aligned in position, I can go ahead and reinstall these screws. I'm going to be very careful with this guy again, not to drop it down. And make sure it aligns. Just get it started until I almost start to feel it grab. And then tighten them down. And the headlight's back in position now. Now that the headlight's secure and in place, what we can do is reconnect our connectors. Now at this point, it would be probably the best time to test the headlights and make sure everything comes on. But I like to live dangerously, so I'm going to go ahead and reassemble everything and hope that it works. I'm sure it should be fine. So now I have those back connected. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at this existing seal here and just make sure. You can see it was a little bit out of place. So I'm going to kind of make sure it's all generally where it needs to be. There's little alignment pieces you can find in here, and all of that looks pretty good. And I have this guy taped out of the way. So I'll start to bring that back. Oops. Drop my flashlight. Start to bring that back after I scratch my car up. And just kind of get it aligned here. It'll be around there. And I'm going to start to reassemble by putting this piece in first and then work my way back up around. So first I need to make sure that this is kind of popped out a little bit like that. Go underneath here. And the trick with these cars is to really pay attention to where all the little clips go, so everything goes right back into place properly, and so you don't have pieces sticking out or anything weird like that going on. And you can kind of hear this thing clicking into place, and I'm just watching each one as I put it in to make sure that it's really going to fit right. So everything is now looking pretty good down here. I'll check that in a minute. This looks in place. That looks like it's in place. This guy needs to be folded under. And there's a little hole that this other piece fits into. Okay, now we're getting closer. Now I need to check again that everything here aligned properly. Those all look good. Everything looks good. I'm going to tuck this thing in. It's a little bit weird on this car. It never really sat properly. There we go. It's all tucked in. Everything looks good. And now all we have to do is pop these little fasteners back in. Sometimes they close on you. So you can have your little screwdriver ready to go. And, well, try another one. Try not to drop things because, well, you saw what happened, and now I have to get under the car. So I'm going to align these guys in a way that is convenient for the next time I have to get under the hood and do this. So I'll just go around the entire car and get it all buttoned up. Now we've got everything all buttoned up. So with any luck, my hood should still close. Let's give it a shot. Okay. And everything aligns properly, so I'm looking pretty good. Let's take it outside and give it a look. So here's our end result. Hopefully we can see this on the camera. The lights and the headlights and the running lights are much more closely matched now. So that's what I was kind of hoping for. So I can see that the light is much whiter than it used to be. I'm pretty happy with that. That's kind of what I was hoping for. Not too bluish or anything like that. Just a nice, clean, white light. So results are pretty good. I hope you guys found this video useful. Let me know if you have any questions.